Holadu Nane.
Good job getting those supplies to Daniel. Let me tell you a story. When I was a boy, a man came through the valley with one of the caravans. Tall man, big mustache, carried a guitar. I asked what he did for his living, and the interpreter told me he was a singer. "What is that?" I asked. The man explained that he went from place to place and sang for people, who gave him food and shelter and care in return. I couldn't believe that there was a place in this world where a man could do that. I promised myself then that one day I'd explore that world myself. I haven't told him yet. Never had the growins. You'd do that? Sure. Sounds smart to me. He might not get so mad at you. Mostly it's the mountain bighorners. Whole herd of them up on the cliffs there. Usually they're not too aggressive, but lately, whew. My guess is one of the calves got lost somewhere along the way. Bighorners are communal. One missing calf, and the whole herd gets ornery. If that calf doesn't turn up soon, they might very well come down into the valley and attack the camp. You might try luring the baby out with some banana yucca. These bighorners go crazy for the stuff. What can I tell you? He's been the chief of our tribe since he came back to the valley. He went off to the civilized world years ago to fight a war. That didn't go well. Well, before he left, he didn't have those bandages all over his face. That tell you something? I don't know. He doesn't talk about it much. Maybe. But how can two civilized tribes fight over something as small as a dam? Ha! Really? That's... my gods. Must be some mighty civilized folks who built that. Now you sound like Joshua. He always tells me that tribal life is better, that I should stay here and forget the outside world. Ask a... Whitelegs. Nasty bunch. They've been raiding deeper into Zion ever since New Canaan was wiped out. That's what Joshua said. Whitelegs came down from Great Salt Lake in force. Fell on New Canaan before they could mount a defense. Joshua found some of the survivors led by a man named Daniel. Most of them have fled the valley. But Daniel stayed on with the Sorrows tribe. That's the weird part. Normally the Whitelegs keep to the Great Salt Lake. I don't know what brought them down this far south. What can I tell? Dead horses mark ourselves to commemorate our hunts. When a hunter takes a great beast, or when a youth goes on his first hunt, he gets a tattoo. Our advanced scouts leave chalk signs to mark places rich with game. I'm not a full scout yet, so I follow the marks and guide the hunters. Only a little. I was very young. He was different. Prouder, yes, but harder, crueler, more driven. Really, I was terrified of him. We all were. When he came back, I almost didn't believe he was the same man. He was humbler. He wanted to protect, not destroy. We decorate our clubs with them to honor Joshua Graham. They were the weapons of his old tribe, so now they are ours. Can't say they seem that dangerous to me, but Joshua says they won the West. Well, because they're our enemies. What else would we do? They take our land, they kill our scouts, they poach our hunting grounds. Little bit. I met some of their missionaries a few times, but I've never...
It has been some time since I visited the dead horses. Our tribes don't have much contact with each other.
What can I tell you? Whew! Glad to hear it.
Welcome back. What can I do? Caesar would never admit this openly, but he knows that I'm alive. I've killed enough of his frumentarii and assassins that have come looking. I've heard one of them travels the Mojave as a courier. Most of Caesar's agents meet a fitting end in NCR territory, but maybe this one survived. I have to admit, it's hard to believe that even after all he did to me, all he tried to do to find and erase me from this world, he went first. No doubt this will be good for the Mojave. I can only hope Arizona and the tribes don't suffer as the Legion falls apart around them. Good. You're doing God's work, whether you believe it or not. I thought he might. It's been some time since I've visited civilized places. I don't have fond memories of them, but I have always seen these places from the outside. I'd rather not influence him more than I already do. Why don't you talk to him? Followschok needs more guidance in his life, just not from me. He's a butcher. Believe me, I know the godless fire that burns in his heart. I've been burned by it myself. He's not the kind to let his subordinates do all the killing. No, he likes to have a hand in it, with that spear of his. He's fashioned himself an abomination before the eyes of the Lord. I'm happy to serve as an instrument of divine justice. I wouldn't say that. Daniel is the spiritual leader and main link of the new Canaanites to the Sorrows. It's not... You are kind to offer, but no, there's nothing you can do. We don't use chems, but I learned long ago that I'm immune to their effects. It never stops burning. My skin. Every day I have to unwind the bandages and replace them with fresh ones. Exposing my body to the air is like living through it again. But it's better to be clean than comfortable. I try not to involve myself with matters of the Mojave anymore. All I know is from before the Battle of Hoover Dam. Better than Caesar, but that's not a high standard. Too much love of money and ownership. Not enough love of God and giving. Any society that derives its power and authority from the will of man alone lives apart from God and will crumble in the end.
What can I tell you? Yeah? He said that? Well, I guess you have been out there more recently than he has. So, what's your advice? Really? You think so? Whew! I'm going to do it! After all this is over, I'm going to go explore civilization. Dankney, Akis, I never would have had the Growans to ask him myself.
If something of mine will help you,